the post backdrop.
And we will be changing to a placeholder backdrop until we start at our 1 o'clock time. So you will see that shortly. Thank you, Mari.
Ashley, it's Curran.
Hi, Curran.
Have you guys evaluated your this whole competition yet? Are you going to do that?
Do you mean a debrief?
I don't know what you call it, but evaluate how the incubator and the whole competition went and what changes should be made.
So we're going to do a few different debriefs after the competition. One is going to be with the mentors. So that will be our regularly scheduled meeting, which I think is Wednesday at 11:30. And then we also are going to be meeting with our committee members of Startup Allegany, as well as doing some deliberations with judges and student teams.
Okay.
I forget I have.
Baseball.
Mari, we are at 1 o'clock. If you could take the, thank you very much. All right. Good afternoon and welcome to the first Startup Allegany Collegiate Competition. I am Ashley Madison, the Program Director for Incubator Works. Before we get started, I wanted to go over some quick Zoom housekeeping. Please mute yourself and please utilize the chat feature for any questions or comments. Students, please name yourselves with college and first and last name. Mentors, please name yourselves as mentors and first and last name. And judges, please name yourselves as judges with first and last name. To make it a little bit easier on your eyes, you can go to the top right-hand corner of your screen and select speaker view so that you can only see the individual who is speaking instead of the many participants of this competition. For those of you watching this live on Incubator Works Facebook page or Alfred University's YouTube channel, please use the SurveyMonkey link as you will be the ones who decide on who will win the $100 Viewer's Choice Award. The link for those are in the chat below for Facebook or YouTube channels. Today, we have 6 teams and a panel of judges whom will be deciding on who takes home the grand prize of $5,000, second place of $1,000, and third place of $500. Students, you do have co-host permissions, which means you will be able to present supporting documents when judges ask questions. And without further ado, I would like to introduce our keynote speaker. Let me see who we have here in the event that that individual is not with us yet. And I don't think we have him with us. So in the interim, I would like to introduce Incubator Works Executive Director, Nancy Kirby, who will be kicking off our ceremony today.
Thank you, Ashley. It's a real privilege to be here this afternoon. It's the result of a lot of hard work with our whole committee that put the Startup Allegany Collegiate Competition together, particularly Alfred University, Alfred State College, and Houghton College. This has been a dream of ours, which got delayed by the onset of COVID last year. And so here we are doing it virtually because we don't want to let it stop us from moving forward. We have 6 teams that will be competing today. You'll be excited by the ideas and the energy and the thoughtfulness of these students. We're pleased that each team has been mentored by an academic mentor and an industry mentor. We were able to pull together a great team of mentors. You'll learn more about them as we go. And we have 3 very experienced and prominent judges who are bringing their expertise to this competition to judge these teams in their efforts. So a big thank you to everyone involved and a sincere best wishes and as they would say in the theater world, break a leg to all the teams and wishing you all the best. So thank you, Ashley.
Thank you so much, Nancy. And now a word from Vice President of Economic Development for Alfred State College and the Allegheny County IDA Director, Craig Clark. Hello, Craig.
Thank you. Yeah, we're so excited about the competition. We've been working along and Ashley's done all the hard work, although it's a great team effort. And why this is important for the county is we've never done a great job of trying to engage the college students in such a competition. And our goal as an economic developer and from the IDA is that some of these great ideas can be something that can be built on in the county. Whether or not you know it or not, most all of the small to larger scale companies in the county have started locally over the years, even could be as long as 100 years ago. But most of those ideas were from people that lived in the county and or stayed in the county, and very few of the companies that we have that have been very, very successful were brought into the county. And so we're excited about the opportunity to have young adults compete, have their ideas looked at, challenge them as far as ideas, and also obviously win some great prizes. And the real goal is to have some of you decide to make Allegheny County your home if it isn't already. I know some of you probably are from the region, but if you're not, we'd like to invite you to stay in the region. It's an exciting time. If you've noticed, there are some things that have been changing. We have a new travel center that even has a new Dunkin' Donuts that just opened this last week. We have a $500 million industrial complex that'll be going up sometime this fall, which is the first time such a complex has been built from brand new in the county. One of the largest actually construction projects in Western New York. And why are they doing that? Because it's a great place to live, work, and play. And we have great graduates like those that'll be on the competitions today. It's very easy to market and sell expansion and doing things like that in the county because we have such three great institutions. And as you know, all great students and faculty, and the mentors have been very helpful, I'm sure, to make sure that this whole process is going to go through very smoothly today. So anything we can do after the fact to keep you in the county and keep your ideas in the county or support you in any way we can, please let us know, because that's what we're here for. So we're excited. This is the first of many of these such competitions, and I know you all do well, and you've learned something from that competition. And I've always said, as a faculty member, a dean and a vice president, all these great opportunities are real good teaching moments because you're learning a lifelong skill that you'll use more than once as you get out in the business world. So other than that, thank you for participating and thank you for your time. And thank you, Ashley, and everyone that's worked so hard to make today such a great event.
Thank you so much, Craig. And now an address from President Mark Zupan of Alfred University.
Peter Drucker, the noted management scholar, was fond of saying, the best way to predict the future is to create it. And with that memorable quote in mind, this is Mark Zupan, president of Alfred University, thanking everybody participating in the Startup Allegheny Collegiate Competition this year for being willing to roll up their sleeves and to create the future. We want to thank the sponsors for the event: Sealing Devices, Incubator Works, Western New York Incubator Networks, the Center for Advanced Ceramic Technology, Accord, and Western New York Wilds. Most of all, though, we want to thank the students from 3 higher ed institutions in our county: Houghton College, Alfred State College, and our own Alfred University Saxons. We look forward to your ideas, to your pitches, and most of all, deeply appreciate your commitment to our county and to creating a better future for it. Best wishes, good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, President Zupan. I would now like to introduce Brady Miller and Samantha Barker with Triboelectric Nanogenerator Mask from Alfred State College.
Hello, my name is Samantha Barker and this is Brady Miller. Today we are here to introduce to you a self-powered temperature sensing face mask to help you battle through your everyday life as the world continues the battle on COVID-19. The college experience Brady and I had last year quickly turned upside down when the COVID-19 lockdowns went into effect. We went from going to in-person class every day to complete online virtual learning. Classes have somewhat gotten back to normal, but our requirement for wearing a face mask still exists. Brady and I decided to take it upon ourselves to create a product that would help us at Alfred State and hopefully spread throughout the community to help others affected by the pandemic.
Have you recently visited the doctor's office, dentist, or any other public place and were required to have your temperature taken? Are you a business owner that has had to pay for expensive temperature sensing stations and equipment? After having that initial reading taken, have you thought to yourself, what if I develop a fever after that initial reading? Wouldn't it be great if the mask that you're already required to wear could give you your temperature? What if I told you it can? Our Triboelectric energy harvesting face mask is fully equipped with a temperature sensor that is powered from energy created by talking and breathing. This sensor will activate an LED when the wearer reaches a feverish temperature. The thermistor reads your temperature from any mask strap that goes around your ear or neck. The plastic mask frame is created from recycled materials. The nano generator itself is constructed with low-cost common materials. These materials are cellulose paper, plastic, and pen ink. The ink is applied to one side of the paper and is the conductive material used to create the triboelectric effect. This alternative energy source reduces the carbon footprint. When you hear triboelectric, think static electricity, but instead of rubbing a balloon against your head and shocking someone, we are harnessing the vibrations caused by your voice and breath to create a charge between materials. Paper, plastic, and pen ink is all that is required to create the generator itself and supply a safe, sustainable power source. This power is directed to a battery charger. From there, it is supplied to the thermistor as a constant, stable electric source. This proposed design can be integrated into almost any current mask that you choose to wear. It is reusable and simple to install. In the initial startup phase, we hope to reach about 3% of the population in Allegany County, which is 1,500 people. We expect one mask to last each person a year. The inserts will be a one-day use per person. We are going to sell our masks for $7.98 and the inserts for 10 cents each. The unit cost for the product is driven by materials and business space rental. The materials required to create this mask total to around $350. The driving costs include the battery charger and transmitting integrated circuits, plus the thermistor itself. I contacted Incubator Works located in Alfred, New York, and received a monthly quote for a workspace. This cost per unit brings the rental cost to about $3 a unit. If we win the prize money, it would be put towards the cover of these costs. Additionally, a startup in the Incubator Works facility would place the company in Allegany County. For the actual fabrication process, Sam and I have agreed we would produce the products ourselves for the first year to remove labor costs. In the first year, we project to make roughly $46,000 from mask and insert sales based on our 3% assumption. When we are capable, the goal of our future growth is to reach 3% of New York State population, which would increase our mask and insert sales by 380%. This growth would allow us to integrate hired employees or possible college interns and more equipment into our business and increase our unit output. Our plan of marketing is to contact local businesses of Allegany County that are still mandated to have masks worn in their facilities and ask if they would like to purchase packages of our masks to hand out to customers as they enter. Doing this will get our product out into the community while also helping local businesses stay open and increase the safety of their environments. Aiming to keep business local to Allegany County, I reached out to the paper factory located in Olean, New York. The paper factory agreed to supply us with the paper, plastic, and pen ink used in the construction of the nano generator. The purchasing of the electronic materials will be done through bulk orders from online sources. The paper and plastic used in our generator can be recycled after use as opposed to the filters and throwaway masks that are currently being used by the public. One-time use masks are being thrown away constantly. Many do not even make it to the trash and are currently littering the ground or even worse, ending up in waterways. That is why we encourage the recycling of our mask inserts or the possible eco-brick creation method. We have taken into consideration that COVID-19 vaccinations are being distributed and mask wearing laws are being lessened. Hopefully this is the tail end of the current pandemic, but we all know that this will not be the last. It is our hopes that this product will be used to stop the spread of COVID-19 and in the future lessen the impact of viruses. Don't panic. Sam and I are here to help with our self-powered temperature sensing face mask. Sam and I want to thank the SAC committee for presenting us with this opportunity to introduce our product and be a part of this competition. Also, we want to extend a special thank you to our mentors, Eric Mosdy and Dr. Rashidi. Judges, we hope that you will consider us for the startup money needed for our company to hit the ground running.
Wonderful. Thank you, Brady and Sam. Judges, what questions do you have for Triboelectric Nano Generator Mask?
Hi, this is Keith Blakely. First, congrats. Great presentation, interesting concept. I wonder if you could explain to me how the mask versus the insert arrangement is intended to operate. Are you going to have these affixed to one another? It wasn't clear where the LED light was and how that would operate in terms of notifying either the user or someone nearby that the temperature had exceeded the fever limits or what have you. So maybe just talk a little bit further about the product if you can.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. So we have the insert, like the paper inserts, sandwiched between two plastic frames that you can put under your mask. And the electronics are also connected to those frames, so that way the wires can come out and also attach to the external of the mask. So with our battery charger and the LED at the same point, those can easily be clipped on to like the strap of the mask. As well as the
Go on.
yes, sorry. The temperature sensor would also be able to wrap around the strap of the mask and touch the skin as well.
Great. I have a question. First, I want to say I loved your pitch and your awareness of all the resources that are available to you in the ecosystem for supplies and manufacturing and the incubator works. I'm curious about the customer demand. How many customers have you talked to? What kind of stories are they telling you that they need a product with an integrated thermometer?
Yes, I can take this question, Sam. So we have reached out to Alfred Pharmacy itself. They did want more information. They want us to come talk to them directly and kind of get more in depth and before they go on with something. I know local schools around the area in Steuben County have purchased the expensive temperature sensing equipment. So next from small businesses, we would kind of look at colleges also, since they require testing every week, and we would talk to colleges and see if they would want to hop on board and with our product and everything.
Very quickly, where do you see that? Is it on an app that you see the temperature, or is it displayed on the mask? I missed that.
Right now, in this prototype that we currently have, the temperature, the LED would just light up, and that would be your indication.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And related to that, do you have a concern about the liability that if the temperature sensor does not indicate an unsafe condition and someone is relying on that you've got some exposure there?
You're saying if the temperature sensor does not exactly read the temperature they have and it doesn't alert them? Is that what you mean?
Well, the question is whether or not you're assuming some liability with the product by offering it up as a way to determine that someone has or does not have an unsafe condition, the fever, the higher temperature. Have you looked into that? Is there an exposure there for the company if you start one? What kinds of either regulatory or legal issues might arise if it's not working properly?
Yes, that is a great question. We haven't looked too deeply into the legal area. Right now, it is just a kind of avoidance method and to help you stop it.
Okay.
On the side, great presentation, by the way. So Thank you for that. Adam Wallen here. Just some questions on, well, first one, what's your manufacturing capacity in year one with the two of you assembling?
We project to make about 1,500 masks, or like with the actual electrical components, for the first year.
Okay, and then how from, I guess, what do you look for sales growth, and how do you find new either distribution or different sites?
Brady, do you want to take this one?
My internet was unstable. I didn't hear the last half of that question.
Oh,
I'm very sorry.
so I was just asking, what's your go-to-market plan beyond, the initial, I'll say, beta tests of local to Alfred in the county?
Okay. Right. Yes. And previously, when I did say the colleges, more local businesses, we wanted to start small there. Talking to colleges, we have Alfred State there, Alfred University right across the road from us. Then we wanted to hopefully go online. It's so easy. There are shops online. You can, and that's the easiest way now to get your product out there and to get publicity and for people to see it. So that is the goal of being local, is to try and sell it online.
Okay, thanks.
Wonderful, and that adjourns our judges Q&A. So thank you, judges, and thank you, Sam and Brady. Thank you for joining us today, Brady, from where you are, so thank you. And now an address from President Irby Sullivan of Alfred State College.
At Alfred State College, we are pioneers and are always working to inspire students to seek new solutions, develop strategies, and reflect the pioneer spirit of discovery, independence, and progress. The Startup Allegany Collegiate Competition is an excellent opportunity for students to take their creative ideas for sustainability and put them into action. Judges will be looking for ideas that are sustainable in many ways to help our environment, produce jobs in Allegany County, and boost the local economy. As we've learned so well from the COVID pandemic, we must seriously think in terms of everyone working together for the common good. This project will inspire students' entrepreneurial spirit to seek solutions and in friendly competition to improve our community. Thank you to everyone who participates in this very worthwhile cause.
Thank you so much, President Sullivan. I would now like to introduce Clay Allison and Jingo Hatakeyama with Recyclevote from Alfred State College.
Hello everyone, my name is Clay Allison, majoring in Business Administration.
And I'm Jingo Hatakeyama, a sports management major.
Our Recyclevote plastic bottle recycling bins will encourage recycling, give a unique platform to gauge public opinion to owners of Recyclevote receptacles, and offers an alternative format for advertising. Our revolutionary Recyclevote plastic bottle recycling bins will feature two sections representing the answers to a question. The question will be chosen by the institution and uploaded to our website, from which it is relayed to the bin and displayed on an LCD display that is Wi-Fi capable. To vote, recyclers will place a bottle into the section corresponding to their preferred answer. Bottles will be counted by an infrared laser counter, and results will be made available on our website. We will also seek sponsorships from companies seeking to advertise using our integrated screens.
Customers will initially be Alfred State, Alfred University, and Houghton College. Using these three campuses, we can conduct a trial run. Our company has the potential to grow and serve all types of institutions that have need for plastic bottles recycling bins. One of the problems our startup is trying to address is the fact that Americans purchase billions of plastic bottles every year, and only 23% of those single-use bottles are being recycled. On college campuses, many recyclable bottles are still being thrown in the trash because people are not engaged or interested by the current way we recycle.
Now some solutions. By allowing recyclers to vote and express their opinions by recycling bottles, they are more likely to recycle. In addition, if recyclers know their bottles will in turn be used to support local charities, they'll be even more likely to use the Recyclevote bins. By creating a startup based in Allegany County, we can stimulate the economy by providing jobs and giving institutions a method to earn revenue through recycling bottles. Institutions currently use plain bins that show a recycling symbol and designate what can be placed, whether bottles, cans, or paper. We've looked for ideas similar to ours and have only found one in the UK, a company called Ballot Bins, which collected cigarette butts and it actually decreased cigarette litter by 46%. Their bins received widespread support and soon became common in many cities.
Some benefits of a product are these. For the ecosystem, we can increase recycling rates and reduce littering. For the customers, they can gauge public opinion on ideas or concepts, create a good company image, and help local communities and charitable groups.
Some advantages we have. Potential recyclers will be more engaged by our interactive bins. With our bins, institutions can collect information on the opinions of the population in their area using our website to create questions. With Recyclevote's infrared counter, institutions can easily keep track of the number of plastic bottles that they have collected and recycled. This allows them to report accurate statistics and avoid increased labor needed to count bottles.
Recyclevote is a company that is seeking to prevent waste and promote recycling efforts in order to decrease the effects of pollution and plastic waste, while simultaneously stimulating the economy of Allegany County.
In order to get our message out there, we plan on using social media as well as developing signage that displays our logo, mission statement, social media handles, and our website URL, which we will post in high traffic areas.
The bins will be distributed when customers order them through our website or through one of our sales representatives. The actual shipment of our bins will be done by third-party distributors, much like Cisco provides Alpha State with food items. Our revenue is earned when customers purchase bins. Example of earnings can be seen on the slide. As a company, we will have both fixed and variable costs. On the slide, you can see a breakdown on potential operating cost of Recyclevote.
To get our company started, we will need to partner with investors to obtain working capital, a manufacturing firm to produce our bins, a website, employees, an office space, and office equipment. Over 2 weeks, we collected with only one set of bins, 677 bottles, using 2 different poll questions. The first question was, are you happy with the current U.S. president? The second question was, which do you prefer, cheeseburger or pizza? One lesson we learned was that many people will throw almost anything in the bins in order to vote. Therefore, we will design our product with clear plastic sides and holes small enough to only fit bottles in order to address this problem. If we win the competition, we plan on using the money to implement our business plan, which already includes a rough product design, a marketing plan, a basic prototype, as well as a design plan for the website.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed our presentation. Our academic mentor is Professor Aaron Vitale, and our industry mentor is Karen Sekila.
Thank you, Clay and Jingo. Judges, what questions do you have for Recyclevote?
Hi, this is Keith. I noticed that you're estimating the cost. I think you're estimating the cost of the bins at $1,000, or that's your selling price. I'm not sure what the cost actually is, but can you explain to me again who actually is the customer? Is it the college itself, and what are they paying right now for recycling bins? What would be their motivation for investing what looks to be a fairly significant amount of money?
Okay, first of all, thank you for watching our presentation. And my partner Clay is not be here now because he is in the U.S. Marine Corps obligation. And the answer for your question is, I think I should show the slide. Can I do that? So initially, our customer will be 3 colleges, Alfred State and Alfred University and Houghton College, and we will distribute 20 bins to each colleges. And you said about the cost, right?
Right.
Is this one? So each cost will be $550 each bins. And we just came up with this idea for 5 or 6 weeks ago. So we need more research on price, product.
Thank you. I have a question, and thank your partner Clay for his service. I love the playful approach to this real problem that people don't recycle as much as they can. I'd like to know even more about the problem, like who on a college campus really cares or pays the price that students and faculty and staff don't recycle as much as they should. That's part one of my question, who really cares? And part two, what percentage of increase of effectiveness do you think that your system will have? Your playful system over the boring existing one.
Could you rephrase the first question?
The first question is like just understanding the customer pain points. Who really cares and is willing to pay money to invest in upping the percentage of recycling that happens on campus?
Okay, so first of all, we
Shut our internet. Jingo, I think you're frozen. I'm trying to figure out whose internet is the problem child here.
Is Aaron still with Jingo, perhaps, Ashley?
Yes, Aaron is in there, so I'm sure they are trying to figure this out. Just some small technical. They might have signed out to sign back in.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Hi, Jingo.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question, second one?
Thank you, Xanthi.
What percentage of effectiveness do you hope to achieve with your new playful system as opposed to the current recycling system, which you're claiming isn't very effective?
Okay, so in the EU, the barrel bins we explained increased 46% cigarette butts littering. So we are expecting at least 30% of recyclable bottles will increase.
Thanks.
Just a quick one, I guess, in understanding the customer, it's gamification, right? So who determines the questions for the sort? Is that something that comes from you or from the end user or the customer? Where does that come? And then how do you record that data and feed it back?
Okay, so the question will be decided by the customers. They can decide whatever they want to ask. And once they give us the question, we can place the question on the screen through our website. And also people can see the result and question through our website. So yeah, like that. Is it enough?
Yeah, any thoughts about how you would leverage if you're drawing eyes to your website, is there any other revenue streams beyond the collection data that you would try to drive, or would it be, talking about other articles, other links to recycling, or other things? Have you thought about any other way to monetize the website?
So advertisement sorry, could you rephrase it?
So people are going to go to your website to look at the results. Mm-hmm. What other, have you thought of any other way to monetize getting people to that website, or what else would the website contain information other than the answers to the questions or the data sets?
Oh, so we will have a website and like Twitter, SNS, like Instagram. We have already made our Instagram to provide to show our result, also question. So maybe through many SNS and website.
Okay, thank you.
Super, and that's time. Thank you, Jingo, and thank you, judges. And now an address from President Shirley Mullen of Houghton College.
Hello, I'm Shirley Mullen, the president of Houghton College, and it's my privilege today, once again, to bring greetings from Houghton College to the Tricollegiate Business Pitch Competition. This is such a great event in Allegany County, and I want to begin by saying thanks to those who have organized this competition. It's a wonderful opportunity for the students of our 3 Allegany County colleges, and it's a win-win for the students, for all those who are participating, for the businesses of Allegany County, and ultimately for the future of the county's flourishing. Secondly, I want to develop just a bit more about what I mean when I say this is a win-win opportunity. For the students, you're getting a chance while you're still in college or university to actually pitch a real-life idea to others and have them give feedback. So you're not just in the ivory tower preparing at some future point to be in the business world. You're actually getting to bring together your theoretical learning in the classroom and your capacity to deliver that in the real world of business. So it's a win for you. It's also a win-win for the county, because when students who go to college or university here in Allegany County get the opportunity to start businesses here or begin to do internships here, they're much more likely to want to stay in the county. And so it really strengthens this growing partnership between the businesses of Allegany County, the academic institutions of Allegany County, and the flourishing of all of those who have the privilege of living in this amazing part of New York State. So I hope you have a great time today. I look forward to good things coming out of this, and I wish you, the students, great success in the competition, and all of those who are part of this, thank you for your contribution to Allegany County on behalf of all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, President Mullen. I would now like to introduce Aidan LaCourse, Taj Malik Beckett, and Zach Gloskin with Innovir from Alfred University.
Hello, my name is Aidan LaCourse, and I'm here representing Innovir for Zachary Gloskin, Taj Malik Beckett, and myself. We're proposing a reusable glass drinking straw, which is virtually unbreakable and highly bacteria resistant, meaning things like E. coli cannot stick to the surface. Over the past few years, many states across the country and nations across the world have started to implement bans on single-use plastic drinking straws. Now, I don't know about you, but I am sick of my paper straw alternatives disintegrating into my drink out here in New York. As a country, we go through around 500 million plastic straws per year, and plastics cannot be recycled. They are one of the most common items to be found during beach cleanups. According to the National Conservation Agency, there are an estimated 7.5 million plastic straws on America's coastlines and 8.3 billion scattered globally. And these plastics break up into microtoxins, which pollute our air and water. The current alternatives to combat plastic straws and promote sustainability come in the form of paper, bamboo, silicone, metal, and glass. And there's some very successful companies out there selling these products. But what separates us from our competition? First off, our straws offer a tasteless experience compared to that of paper, bamboo, silicone, and metal straws. Each material carries its own taste and gets in the way of your drink. Metal straws taste metallic, silicone like plastic, paper like paper. But our straws will also last a lifetime. Not only are we using a superior glass compared to our competitors at Shot and Simply Straws, but we are also applying a special process that enhances the overall strength and helps prevent them from breaking when dropped. They're guaranteed to outperform any other glass on the market when it comes to strength alone. You can probably drop it off a third-floor balcony onto concrete, and you're most likely just going to watch it bounce. Not only does this process strengthen our glass, but this is what makes it so bacteria cannot attach or stick onto the surface too. So they're extremely easy to clean, they're dishwasher safe, and you can put it in a boiling cup of coffee and immediately into ice water without any fear of thermal shock. As data suggests, the country is turning towards sustainable solutions and products. More people are open to help preserve and protect our environment more than ever, with millennials leading the way. The majority of our current reusable straw users are between the ages of 18 and 30, which are the demographics most likely to pay for the sustainable and quality products. We hope to initially catch the attention of all current straw users and get them to switch over to our product because it's better, as well as to pique the interest of anyone else that doesn't have a straw right now but has the frustrations that we do with paper and the other alternatives. Allegany County has around 47,000 people, and that's around 25 to 30% of our target market alone is and Alfred University has around 30,000 alumni and 1,700 students per year, which we can market directly to using our connection over here at Alfred. With individual orders being one of our priorities, this is a very good sign that the interest and demand is there for our demographic. At the same time, we're looking to provide bulk custom straws to businesses and establishments across Allegany County and eventually the country as we prepare to look towards the future. Each straw will be carefully laser etched with whatever the customer requests. All of our product design is left up to Evan Peter. He is Drive Copy's graphic designer. They are the official copy provider of the F1 Racing, and he has a phenomenal vision for this company and works with me every day. We are immediately going to be launching a social media campaign as well as a cost-per-click Google advertising campaign as two forms of getting our name out there and promoting our website and product. Getting the word out there is key, and we're committed to doing as much as possible to get our product noticed. In terms of initial funding support and pre-orders, a Kickstarter may be launched as well to help gain initial traction. In general, I estimate the full startup cost for a small operation to be around $10,000. This summer, I've secured a facility space for around $300 a month that already has the majority of the equipment that we need. We have recently met with a few manufacturers, and we estimate the full cost of this production to be around $2 a straw. At $14.99 a straw, that's a profit margin of 86.67%. At full capacity at this level, we can treat 200 straws per day and another 200 for every new machine that we buy. We are very excited for the future of Innovir, and I hope you are excited as well.
Thank you, Aiden, Taj Malik, and Zach. Judges, what questions do you have for Innovir?
So this is Keith Blakely. I'll start by saying I love the idea, and so do somewhere in the neighborhood of, I think, probably 20 other companies that are already offering glass straws. Now, what I heard and took away from the presentation, which was great, by the way, was that there's some unique intellectual property here, that the processing of the product and the glass itself to enhance toughness, strength, antibacterial characteristics, et cetera, et cetera. So if you could explain a little bit more about what you're doing that is different, that would potentially separate you in the marketplace from all of the current suppliers of glass drinking straws. And then also, have you considered, assuming there is some intellectual property involved here, the idea of perhaps first protecting the intellectual property and then perhaps licensing it to the companies that are already in the market and selling product?
Yes, this is Aiden LaCourse. I'm actually a senior here over at Alfred University. I major in glass engineering science. So to answer your question around intellectual property, yes, we are going to be filing for a patent as soon as possible. Right now, I am currently in the middle of my thesis project, and this thesis is on the antibacterial process. So once this is finished, I will have my research ready to propose and apply for the intellectual property as we proceed. In terms of the other companies that do sell straws right now, the one thing that does set them apart from us is that their straws are blown into glass and sold immediately. What we do is apply 2 separate processes to not only enhance the strength but to also make the surface bactericidal. So the intellectual property is actually within our secondary processes that we use onto the straws themselves. So that's basically what separates from us, is that these other companies don't do anything to their straws besides produce them into straws and sell them. They aren't strengthened. There's no other extra processes.
Thanks. My ears perked up when you talked about that partnership that you have with the main coffee distributor for F1. Can you say more about that? And other partnerships that you might pursue?
Sure. So I do not actually have a partnership with F1 Racing. One of my associates actually does a lot of work with F1. He's one of their, I'm not sure if he's an owner or anything, but he does all of their graphic design. He's with them every day throughout the entire process from their startup to actually where they are now. He's been there. So he has all of the knowledge to help me bring these ideas, to create my logo, to rebrand down the road, to help bring in more clients, but to also kind of visualize what kind of people we need to market to, because they've been through this entire process before with Evan. So he has a lot of knowledge to help me. But in terms of other people down the road that we are looking at, in terms of Allegany County, one of our first people we're going to reach out to is Alex's Bar. And we're also going to reach out to the collegiate to hopefully offer bulk custom straws. In the future, we'd love to branch out to other bigger companies, especially down the road. One of our big dreams is, let's say, Disney World. But there are definitely possibilities out there, and our eyes are open, and we're ready.
Thank you.
I guess just a quick question. What kind of volume discounts are you looking at for the bulk customers? Have you thought about that strategy?
Sure. So I've not thought about any particular numbers or discounts as of yet, but there are going to be big bulk discounts, obviously, for these bigger companies. I was thinking somewhere in the range of maybe $6 to $7 per straw, depending. Because of one of the big reasons is that we're looking to Disney World is because they sell reusable drinking cups you can bring back to the kingdom to refill anytime you'd like. So we were kind of thinking it more or less in that way. But in terms of a place like Alex's or more of a restaurant, we would have to decrease we would have to discount them a lot, because they do run the risk of having the products taken and things like that. So there's really no way for them to assure that the straws stay in their establishment. So that is a concern.
Thank you. Oh, we are at time. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, judges, and thank you, Aiden. And we now have a 5-minute break. Please remember to place your votes via SurveyMonkey on IncubatorWorks Facebook page or Alfred University's YouTube channel. And you are welcome to turn off your cameras. I will be introducing our mentors and judges during this time so that you all can get a better handle on who we are with today with our judges and mentors. So I will share my screen. All right, wonderful. So our Startup Allegany Collegiate Competition judges, who we have already heard from, we have Xanthi Matichuk, Adam Wallen, and Keith Blakely. Xanthi is a designer and mentor with expertise in industrial design, sustainability, clean energy, food and ag tech, and healthcare. She has over 15 years experience teaching and mentoring college students and B Corps founders from around the country and the world. Xanthi sits on advisory boards for several technology education programs and runs a small design consultancy in Ithaca, New York called Tuning Design Co. Adam is a proven entrepreneurial talent with noted successes in venture, clean tech, med tech, and healthcare IT. He brings 2 decades of executive experience earned at organizations like British Petroleum and Breakthrough Energy Ventures, and he has developed and marketed several innovative technology product and service businesses. Keith is the chairman and CEO of Encore Golf Technology, Inc., a role he has served since 2011. He is a 2-time winner of R&D Magazine's IR 100 Award, holds multiple U.S. patents, has appeared on CNBC's Squawk Box, profiled in Figaro magazine, and was named Business Leader of the Year by Small Times magazine. Keith is a serial entrepreneur and started his first company, Advanced Refractory Technologies, Inc., at the age of 24. Keith is a native of Western New York and a graduate of SUNY Buffalo. And now for our Startup Allegany Collegiate Competition mentors. Eric Mazdi and Dr. Rashidi are the mentors of Triboelectric Nano Generator Mass at Alfred State College. Bob Ferry and Dr. Jason Morrison are the mentors of Food in a Flash at Alfred University. Curran Sakella and Aaron Vitale are the mentors of Recyclevote at Alfred State College. Marty Metzger and Dr. Jason Morrison are the mentors of Innovir at Alfred University. Marla Kelly and Carmen Mikkel are the mentors of Think Orange Ag Tech at Houghton College. And Rachel Mazdi and Dr. Rashidi are the mentors of Protosol at Alfred State College. Eric Mazdi has driven innovation for over 20 years in the R&D, commercial, and manufacturing areas of Corning Incorporated, including the management of large programs with impact exceeding $200 million. Dr. Rashidi is an associate professor and the chair of the Department of Mechanical and Electrical Engineering Technology at SUNY Alfred State College. Curran Sakella is an engineering and management consultant. Primary customer is current staff of CPAC Inc. He was a partner and started CPAC, a business to design and manufacture industrial, military, and aerospace products. Aaron is professor and chair of civil engineering technology at Alfred State College, where she teaches construction management coursework. Marty Metzger is a Western New York native and graduate of Alfred University. In 1994, he co-founded Silicon Carbide Products, Inc. as its majority owner, and SCP set up shop at Incubator Works. Dr. Jason Morrison is an assistant professor of finance and entrepreneurship at Alfred University and has been in residence since August of 2019. Rachel Mazdi has enabled growth of 5 innovative Corning businesses, leveraging her broad commercial and engineering expertise. Bob Ferry managed a $100 million division for medical, implantable, and aerospace applications. Marla Kelly is Program Director, Innovation Manufacturing Integration for Corning Incorporated. And Carmen Mikkel is an analytics entrepreneur and data scientist with over 27 years of experience in sports, health, and business analytics. And with that, I would like to welcome you all back. And I would like to introduce our next startup pitch with Xavier Ramos and Justin King with Protosol from Alfred State College.
Hello, my name is Justin King.
I'm Xavier Ramos.
And we are the creators of the Protosol. So at Protosol, our mission is to create a sustainable and effective solution, starting with the improvement of our lives through back pain prevention. All too often, when focusing on desk work or computer games, people quickly lose track of their posture, which can cause immediate or future back pain. Of all the people in the USA, 80% of them have back pain at some time in their lives. That's the equivalent of to 264 million people that are in pain, just because they're just doing their jobs or relaxing while playing a game. The Protosol solves this problem. Using haptic feedback loops, it helps customers naturally adapt and subconsciously retrain themselves to have better posture. Never before has a product non-invasively worked to fix your posture immediately and keep it that way for years to come.
The expected market for the Protosol is supposed to increase as time goes on. COVID has struck the country and people feel the need to work from home. Protosol caters not only to these people, but to anyone who sits at a desk for multiple hours a day. In fact, 83 million days of work are lost per year due to back pain. If 86% of the total population of Americans had back pain, and let's say if 100 if 1/100th of them picked up Protosol, our gross revenue would be $56.5 million. Our total accessible market price is $1.2 million per day in New York State, assuming there are 500 shoe stores in New York. So, since my partner and I are full-time electrical students, we created the prototype you see. The heel and front part of the prototype uses piezoelectric sensors along with an algorithm that we can measure how much weight you exert. The device above will also use an accelerometer, humidity and temperature sensor, and an integrated energy harvester. These components will add further fitness functionalities other than the primary posture function. This includes a pedometer, humidity and temperature monitoring, and even a speedometer to sense how fast you're walking or running.
So we chose cork as the main material for the Protosol because it is a plant-based raw material. It's easily recycled, easily reused, and it can even be recycled and put into other products. Cork is hydrophobic, antimicrobial, and comfortable. So those are three great aspects for a shoe sole. That means it's going to repel bacteria, it won't absorb sweat from your feet, and you won't even notice that you're wearing them most of the time. Another great feature about the Protosol is the regenerative walking. This is a new form of capturing energy that uses the power from your stride to create electricity, further reducing your carbon emissions and your dependence on external energy sources. We calculated that the Protosol will cost about $40 to create, and we would sell a single Protosol for around $60 each, or $120 a pair. So that would be a 50% profit margin. In the future, we plan to continue developing our product and our company in Allegany County after we graduate. We still need to develop more prototypes and integrate all of the systems together so we would put the prize money from this competition into buying more materials and accessing business and incubation facilities. So some systems that we would integrate would be weight sensing, battery charging and discharging, as well as Bluetooth interfacing. We're excited to get this project up and going and start striding with power. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you. So,
Thank you. Go ahead, Xanthi.
Great presentation. I love this kind of biosensing technology. I think you mentioned people working at home. Can you say more about essential workers who are really on their feet and wearing shoes, and what kind of markets might be accessible there?
So our product is mainly focused on those who are working from home, or even if you're not working from home, a lot of the time we sit down for multiple hours a day. So that would allow us, so our product would allow those people to, actively or subconsciously fix their posture as they're doing whatever they're doing at their computers. And it would also have fitness functionalities like a pedometer and such, that would still be useful to those people who are standing up, walking, doing whatever they're doing.
Sorry, go ahead.
Can you explain, I guess, either the efficacy or the correlation between back pain and the device? So I'm not exactly clear. Is it just when you're sitting, if your feet are prone and flat, it decreases your back pain? Is there evidence to that effect?
So we're relating the posture to back pain. So essentially, if I'm like this 6 hours a day for 20 years, I'm going to end up, hunchback eventually, and that's going to cause a lot of back pain. The positioning of your feet and essentially the angle that your legs are at, if your legs are at like a 90-degree angle, then that it's a system in your body that causes you to sit upright. if that angle increases or decreases, like if I'm sitting like this, then I'm going to lean forward more. If that angle increases, then I'm going to lean back more.
So have you tested that? And I mean, is there data to support the finding?
No, we haven't done any trials yet. We're still developing the technology.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
But related to that, do you have like biomechanical expertise on your team or?
Oh, so this isn't going to be biomechanical. This is
No, I
using.
know, but I mean, knowledge of the body and how it's certainly measuring biomechanical kind of things.
I see what you mean. Yes, thank you. So we are both electrical engineers, but we are planning on consulting podiatrists and what's it called? And physicians that have more knowledge as to how we can tune our system to better serve our customers.
Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
Keith, do you have any questions?
Adam stole mine, but I'll add a separate one, which basically relates to the economics here. It looked from the numbers, if I'm remembering, that the cost was expected to be about $40, and you were talking about selling a pair of them for $120. Yes. So by my math, that means you've got $80 in and $120 coming back. Is that safe?
Wait, $80 in. So are you saying that we get $120 in profit? No.
No. You said 50% profit, and that I was trying to understand whether I was not reading the slide correctly or I had flunked math the second time. It doesn't seem as though there's that kind of profit margin in here, number one. And the second is, have you spoken to people or prospective customers about that added cost to, the footwear and that particular market? It seems like it would be high unless the feedback loop is clearly, one that is doing what you say, which is the other question, and how the feedback is given to the person who's got these in their sneakers or their shoes or whatever, to give them the feedback that says, oh, you're not posturing the way that you should be.
Related to the first question, the initial cost of the Protosol is $40, and so when we sell it individually, it will be sold for $60. So for a pair of them, you would sell them for $120. That's where the 50% margin comes into play.
And I'm sorry, could you repeat the second half of that question, please?
Well, the other was, I was trying to understand, first of all, whether or not and it sounds like this is early, so you haven't necessarily tested this to know that there is a feedback mechanism from the pressure measurements that you're taking here. What's telling someone that they're in the right or the wrong posture? And then whether or not there's a price sensitivity to that you've explored with prospective users.
Actually, our initial prototype, we've actually tested it with a data acquisition device. And so we've used a program named MATLAB to test each individual piezoelectric sensor. And so when doing this, we can actually see which sensor is actually exerting more electricity than the others. And so this is how we can tell if someone is pushing more on the front part of the foot or on the heel part of the foot or any individual section of their foot.
Great, and that is time.
Okay.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Xavier, and thank you, judges. Next, I would like to introduce Jenna Lynn Conley, Colin Leonard, Maddie Haimlink, and Isabella Dorozinski with Food in a Flash from Alfred University.
Hello, my name is Jenna Lynn.
And I'm Colin.
And we are the students from Alfred University. We wanted to bring a food delivery service to our campus. This is Food in a Flash. Our logo is created by our own students, Maddie Hamlink and Isabella Dorozinski.
People crave the idea of convenience, especially when it's related to their food.
A food delivery service will raise efficiency levels and generate more work opportunities for students on campus.
Students, staff, and faculty from Alfred University and Alfred State will order on the app from their choice of venue, and our deliverers will bring the food to the building location of the customer. Food in a Flash's hours of operations are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. till 2 a.m., Saturday, 8:30 a.m. till 3 a.m., and Sunday, 8:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. The student workforce consists of students being considered independent contractors. We also require the use of recycled materials.
The app is arguably the most important piece of the business plan. It needs to be simple to use, but still be good enough to showcase all of our options without overwhelming the customer. Customers will be able to both place orders and pay for their orders using the app. The app is also a form of revenue because we can sell ad space and collect said revenue. The app is already made and ready to go, but needs funding to redesign the app and go forward with creating an easy platform for our customers to utilize. Food in a Flash would be a student-run business that both delivers food and minimizes the carbon footprint of the area. People would choose Food in a Flash due to the fact that the only other form of delivery available in the area is from Duke's Pizzeria, and they only deliver items off their own menu. After conducting a survey of various students, staff, and faculty, we came to the conclusion that the majority of the people on campus want food delivery, and just under half of the people on the campus would be willing to work for and be part of the service.
Food in a Flash's target market is based off the structure of Alfred University and Alfred State campuses. Students, faculty, and staff of both campuses are the customers Food in a Flash will reach. Nationwide, restaurants are switching from dining to delivery. Due to the effects of the pandemic, people have less incentive to eat at the restaurant or order takeout and prefer the delivery option instead. This relates to Food in a Flash because our service eliminates the lack of motivation our customers have to go out to get their own food. In terms of advertising and promoting Food in a Flash and our app, we have company t-shirts to showcase our name, slogan, logo, app, and hours of operations. This will be the same for the posters that are to be plastered in the dining halls and residences with the addition of an online application for hiring purposes.
Our first total year cost would round up to be about $2,000. If we do around 670 deliveries a year, we would be able to break even on only deliveries. This does not include any other form of revenue such as ad space on the app, business collaborations, and other things of this nature.
The pandemic has shown that a food delivery service for universities and colleges is a need and can be patented and used nationwide. Food in a Flash's future has plans of a delivery mascot or robot, which is also an advertisement in itself. We also have an evaluation strategy for every 2 weeks that looks over the statistics regarding Food in a Flash and will be recorded by the mobile app or by hand depending on the settings programmed into the app. The progress will be monitored based on which locations send the most orders, and the number of orders are to be shown in a document to evaluate the standing of Food in a Flash. Here's our business model canvas that features the main logistics. Thank you for your time and consideration towards Food in a Flash.
Thank you, Jenna Lynn, Colin, Maddie, and Isabella. Judges, what questions do you have for Food in a Flash?
I want to say that I love the composition of your team, the mix of business and art students on your team. Going forward, art students, put some gorgeous pictures in there. That's just a comment. But I'd love to hear more about your customers, who you've talked to, what kind of frustrations they're having that are telling you that your business idea is something that they would want.
I'll take this one. Just 1 second, I'm having a little bit of feedback. Okay, so our customers are, they want this need, well, as students ourselves, we kind of are the customers. So we talk to a lot of our friends and a lot of our other peers, and they have the same need that we have. We want to keep working, we want to be productive, we want to, keep doing our homework. But the problem is that we have to go out and get our food from sometimes across campus, depending on where we live. So the delivery option is really a great way to showcase all the dining halls that we have here on A State and the dining halls that are, here on AU and over at A State. It's a good way to showcase the dining halls and the local restaurants that we have around us. So it's also a good way for advertising. And
Thank you,
then,
General.
sorry, I just want to add one more thing. In terms of hiring, we have talked to a lot of our peers and they do want to be part of this team because people need jobs, especially coming out of the pandemic.
Thank you.
And have you set up any partnerships or arrangements with, I'll say either the dining halls or the restaurants? Have you reached out to any of those, that side of the equation?
I'll take this one too. So we have reached out to AVI Food Systems, which is the AU dining service, and ACES, which is the A State dining service, and we have not gotten anything back. And in terms of the restaurants, we felt that we weren't going to bring our idea until we have funding. So if we win this competition, we will go to them and offer them all the information we have on Food in a Flash, and we will go from there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I take it that there aren't alternatives. I heard about the one pizza delivery place, but is there a need here that isn't being filled by, for example, Uber Eats and DoorDash, and or are we talking about a slightly different model and I missed that?
I'll take this one. So being in Allegany County, we're all pretty in a rural area. So Uber Eats and all of those other Grubhub situations and apps and services don't get out here. So we would be the only delivery service other than that pizzeria.
Thanks. That's what I assumed, but I didn't want to presume too much about it. Thanks.
Yes, great question. Thank you. Any other questions for the judges? We have one more minute. All right. Well, thank you, team and judges.
Actually,
yes, go ahead,
you have
gentlemen.
one more minute. Do you think I could share a couple things with you guys?
You can, yes.
Okay. So we have poster designs, and we actually have that running, and I wanted to show you guys what it looks like just real quick. So I'll screen share. Okay, can you see? Okay, I'm gonna make this. So right here, you see the functions of the app. Our first picture is the login. The second one is home screen. The third one is a place to order, and the last one is our team. So this is just a rough look at the app. We cannot go further because we need more funding to keep going. So with this, we can add more features such as a map of where deliverers are and more in-app purchases. And then if over here we have our poster, and there's a QR code for a job application for anyone who is interested.
Great, thank you, Jenna.
Great.
If you could stop screen sharing and we can jump into Team 6. Wonderful, thank you so much. So I would like to introduce our last team, Team 6. This is Stephen Harper and Micah Condi with Think Orange Ag Tech from Houghton College.
Hi, I'm Steve Harper.
And I'm Micah Condi. We are Think Orange Ag Tech.
Our mission is to help provide small farmers with big data to help them stay competitive.
To tell you a little bit about ourselves, I am a business major with a minor in economics. My grandparents on both sides grew up on farms. My mom was a dairy farmer, and currently my grandparents, aunt, and uncle are all corn farmers.
I'm a sophomore, physics and computer science major at Houghton College. I've been interested in drones for several years now. I first started constructing a drone in high school and continue to be intrigued by the variety of ways drones are used to help people commercially.
Allegany County is falling behind New York State in farming efficiency. This is a chief concern in a county where 1 in 13 employed people are farmers. And corn and hay make up nearly a $20 million industry. For example, corn yield in Allegany County is over 15% worse than the New York State average. A major factor causing this gap in crop yield is Allegany County has smaller farms which do not have access to the same high precision, expensive equipment, and data analytics tools.
Introducing Think Orange AgTech. After talking to local farmers, as well as our contacts at John Deere, we are confident we found a solution. Cost-effective drone analysis for small and medium-sized farms. By flying a drone over a field, spectral data across a wide portion of the electromagnetic spectrum can be collected, providing valuable insights into a farmer's crop. Once this information is collected from a certified drone pilot, it can be processed and given to the farmer, indicating to them the health of their crops, as well as providing accurate estimates of their expected yield. This would tell them where pesticides and fertilizers should be applied. Currently, this information is collected from small sample sizes, leading to incorrect allocation of resources. For this reason, the yield is expected to increase significantly. For example, yield on corn is expected to increase by $12 an acre.
Using drone data not only increases crop yield, but also reduces the amount of fertilizer that flows into waterways, polluting rivers. Currently, there are parts of the crop that end up with too much nitrogen, and nitrogen that isn't uptaken by the crop flows into waterways, having detrimental effects on the environment. Furthermore, according to a United Nations report, it is estimated that by the year 2050, the world needs to increase its food production by 70% to feed a growing population. In order to meet this benchmark for sustainability, farms need to become more efficient.
Currently, the options available to farmers to access this data are to buy and fly their own drone, or purchase detailed satellite images which cost the same regardless of farm size. Neither of these options are cost-effective for smaller farms. Our service would provide and operate the drone for them, collect and process the data, and then give it back to the farmer in the form of a prescription map, which recommends to the farmer what to do and where. We plan to charge $1.25 an acre for each survey and conduct an average of 3 surveys per farm. We expect this information to increase their revenue by $15 an acre, so the farmer still gets over 2/3 of the profit from the crop increase.
Should we win the prize, over the summer we would conduct additional market research, refine our service plan, and attend events such as the Allegany County Fair to promote our service. In the fall, we would begin business operations, buying our first drone as well as a few other necessities. We anticipate acquiring 30 clients by the end of our first year. This would generate us $17,000 in revenue, causing us to break even with a significant cushion. This would also generate our Allegany County clients $50,000 in profit by the end of this first year. We would also seek the help of investors and apply for state and USDA grants. In our second year, our goal is to conduct drone surveys on 200 farms. This would bring in $94,000 in revenue and $64,000 in profit. In addition, this would generate our clients $280,000 in profit. After this year, we would hope to scale the business by finding clients farming other crops, as well as finding other uses for our drones outside of farming.
Some of our expenses would be a variety of insurance, drone licensing, tablets for the field, the drone itself, and data processing software.
Here's a drone I've been working on. I constructed the frame, the circuit board, and most of the software entirely from scratch. One component I think is interesting is the frame, which was printed on a 3D printer with PLA plastic. The reason this is interesting is because PLA, which is biodegradable industrially and consists of renewable raw materials, is actually made of corn. This embodies the vision of Think Orange AgTech, to combine classic farming with new technology to create a new, more sustainable future. Will you partner with us to complete our vision for Allegany County?
Thank you, Stephen and Micah. Judges, what questions do you have for Think Orange AgTech?
So, guys, this is Keith Blakely. Love this and was very impressed with the amount of data, the impact studies that you had, and the projections. I thought it was very well done. In fact, it's so compelling. My 2 questions are: first, What prevents other people from just walking in and doing exactly what you're proposing to do? And related to that, why do you think with the proliferation of drones, farmers aren't doing this themselves already?
So to answer your second question first, the reason why small farms like the ones in Allegany County that we'd be targeting are not doing this with drones themselves is it doesn't make sense for a smaller farm, let's say 150 acres, to buy a drone that's $6,000, and then there's all these other expenses that go into that with the scale of their farm. This is primarily being done at larger farms where it makes more sense at that scale of an economy. And could you repeat your first question?
Well, it's just what prevents some other group from doing what you're proposing to do. Is there anything unique either in your capture of the data, your assessment? Does your team have some unusual expertise in analyzing what the drone cameras are delivering to you?
Yeah, so the market is going towards large farms right now, and the smaller farms like the ones in Allegany County are sort of an untapped market. And Micah and I both have unique experience that would differentiate ourselves from potential competitors. For example, I come from a long line of farmers, and Micah has drone building experience. The one you saw in the video is not the first drone Micah has made. And those sorts of background would make us give us a unique edge over competitors to enter this market. Another thing I want to add to that is this service that we would be doing is not being done, as far as we can find, anywhere in New York and anywhere in the United States. Right now, what's happening is large farms are buying the drone themselves and then flying it themselves or hiring someone to fly their own drone. We would streamline that process by bringing the drone to them, owning the drone, owning the data processing software, and everything A to Z. All they have to do is sign up and pay.
I would just like to insert a comment here. What gives us that competitive edge that you're talking about is as we develop, as we move on and are able to collect data at first using like available tools already, we would start integrating our own tools, which would and making those specific to Allegany County, because different farms in different areas have different specifics that help them more. So that would kind of be our IP, is that those new tools that we create specific for them, and that's what would give us that competitive advantage that
Can
would
I ask
not
another
allow other
question on this point?
Yes.
I love that you're delivering this kind of functionality. I've got family members in the Midwest that have giant farms that, can afford to use this technology. I'm curious about the trade-offs, which are necessary, I assume, in the features that you're delivering to deliver at a price point that hits small to medium-sized farms. Is it that they're running it themselves? Is that where the cost savings comes in? Or what features are you not giving them that the big players get so that they can afford it? Does that question make sense?
Micah?
Yeah, so they're not getting their own drone, essentially. So essentially what they're doing is we're using the same drone. Rather than them buying their own drone and using it just a few times a year, we're essentially renting the drone and flying it for them.
Okay.
And we have 1 more minute for any additional questions.
Yeah, what's the active pipeline? I mean, I'm assuming you have some customers either that you've tested the drone and then the data analysis. What stage are you at?
So right now we're working on Micah's drone, as well as finding a drone to buy that would come with sensors. The drone we showed in the video is one that AGI makes, which they make tons and tons of drones that would come ready-made with the sensors. And our timeline right now would be start in the spring of 2022. And between now and then, we would be doing marketing, finding clients, and expanding the reach of our business and ironing out all the fine details to make sure we're ready day one, spring of 2022.
Great, and that's time. Thank you so much. Wonderful. It is now time for the judges to deliberate. Mari, can you please send the judges and Nancy Kirby and Barry Hemley to a breakout room? And then during deliberation, I would like to do a recap of the teams for those of you that are watching on Facebook or YouTube. Okay. We have Team 1, Triboelectric Nano Generator Mask from Alfred State College, comprised of Brady Miller, who is a major in mechanical engineering technology, and Samantha Barker, who is a major in mechanical engineering technology. Their mentors are Eric Mazdi and Dr. Rashidi. This team has developed electronic protective masks which generate energy using triboelectric nanogenerators when the person talks. The energy generated will be used to power a touching embedded temperature sensor, monitoring continuously the person's body temperature as a fever symptom of coronavirus. Team 2, Recyclevote, Alfred State College, comprised of Clay Allison, who is a major in business administration, and Jingo Hatakeyama, who is a major in majoring in AAS sports management. Mentors are Curran Sakella and Aaron Vitale. Recyclevote is an innovative idea that will encourage recycling, give a unique platform to gauge public opinion to owners of Recyclevote receptacles, and offers an alternative format for advertising. Team 3, Innovir, Alfred University, comprised of Aidan LaCourse, a major in glass science engineering, Taj Malik Beckett, major in business, and Zach Gloskin, major in business administration, mentored by Marty Metzger and Dr. Jason Morrison. This is an unbreakable and self-cleaning glass drinking straw. Team 4, Protosol, Alfred State College, Xavier Ramos, major in electrical engineering technology, and Justin King, major in electrical engineering technology, mentored by Rachel Mazdi from Corning and Dr. Rashidi. This team has developed shoe inserts that send and receive information pertaining to the user's health. The soles will monitor the habits of the user and alert them to make significant adjustments to retrain the body to maintain a healthy natural posture while sitting at a computer. This will effectively reduce and prevent back pain. Team 5, Food in a Flash, Alfred University, comprised of Jenna Lynn Conley, major in marketing, Colin Leonard, major in finance, Maddie Hamelink, major in art, and Isabella Dorozinski, major in art, mentored by Bob Ferry and Dr. Morrison. Food in a Flash is a food delivery service company that provides the option for delivery on the Alfred University and Alfred State campuses. They are a student-led company with a focus in sustainability and convenience. Think Orange Ag Tech, Team 6, Houghton College, comprised of Stephen Harper, major in business, and Micah Condi, major in physics and computer science, mentored by Marla Kelly and Carmen McKell. Stephen has combined his business acumen with Micah's knowledge and expertise in drone technology to provide small farmers with big data solutions. These innovative data solutions will help maximize crop yield and build a sustainable future in Allegany County and beyond. Next, I would like to introduce Incubator Works co-director, Dr. Alan Ray, who will be talking a little bit about Incubator Works and what we do, as well as sustainability.
Thank you, Ashley. Well, I hope all of you watching are as impressed with the teams and the work they've put in as I am, because I think they've done a fabulous job. So here at Incubator Works, we're a not-for-profit with 2 incubators, one in Painted Post near Corning and one in Alfred. Next, please. So really what we're looking to do is build an entrepreneurial community. And, you know, we don't create jobs. We don't create businesses. We help to support businesses as they're formed and as they grow. And we work throughout Steuben County, Allegany County, Schuyler, and Common County. Chemung County. How do we work? Well, we basically are supported by grants from New York State and elsewhere, and also through funding through rent for the incubators. Next. So the startups that you've seen today are, a mixture of high tech and Main Street, and those are two very important areas. So really, what we do to support them is we work with companies either inside the business incubator or outside the incubator. So within the incubators in Alfred and Corning, we provide space, we mentor the residents, we also offer programming to external companies and startups and various meetings. And for example, we've helped a lot of businesses, both established and startup businesses, understand the regulations around COVID-19. Next slide. So we have a small staff. We have Nancy Kirby, who's the director. I'm the co-director. Ashley is program director. Greg is operations director. Barry, working remotely from Maine at the moment, is project manager, and MK works from Alfred. So I've been asked to talk a little bit about sustainability and what it means. And we've seen some great sustainable programs there, ranging from agriculture to recycling. And the definition is, what is sustainability? Well, it's meeting our needs now, but without compromising the future. And people kind of split it into three areas: people, planet, and profit. And all of these have to work. Next slide. So my background has been mainly at the recycling end in some surprising areas. So my first job was working for a company that makes antimony. Now, antimony is used in everything from the catalyst to make polyester to it's the additive that stops your brake lining squeaking on your disc brakes. And it's also used as a flame retardant in automobile wiring. And our business was going pretty well in Newcastle in England until it hit a very bad year. And we're trying to figure out how on earth they're going to survive this year. And the head chemist said, we're going to process the blast furnace slag. Because what he had realized, which is what nobody else had, is that the material that we used actually came from a gold mine in South Africa. And there was a little bit of gold left in there. And we managed to get a few pounds of gold, which were enough to keep people employed and the business sustainable. So I also was involved in recycling electronic solders, which the company I was working for didn't realize was actually the most profitable business in the whole company. We've been working at Incubator Works and with a company at Incubator Works called Xylon Technical Ceramics on recycling rare earths from electronics and other sources. And also I'm currently working for a New York State Department of Environmental Conservation and National Science Foundation on recycling plastics. So let's talk about, in the next slide, we're going to talk about what are the rules of recycling? Well, somebody's going to make money. So somebody in the recycling chain has to have a financial incentive to do this, whether it be government or businesses. And surprisingly, one of the biggest challenges is transport. So if your product that you're recycling has too high a density or too low a density, transport costs can be difficult. If you're operating a recycling plant, you want to run it all the time. You don't want to be running it on and off. But the challenge that you have is a lot of prices vary a lot. So if the oil price goes down, you can't make money on plastics. If the metals price goes up, then scrap metal becomes a lot more valuable. And if you're converting into chemicals, those values go up and down. And the other thing is you can get other problems. So when we used to have the cathode ray tube, the old style televisions, the front of those is leaded glass. There are still warehouses around the country full of leaded glass that nobody knows how to dispose of. And flame retardants in your laptop and mine, they're actually finding their way into toys if the plastic's recycled. So next slide. So who drives sustainability? Well, it can be the consumer, it can be industry, it can be national and state legal, and the example there is microplastics in toothpastes, and it could be in international agreements like the Paris Accord, but really consumers can drive it most effectively. So let's talk about some consumer products that you're familiar with. Next slide. You heard about the bottle problem. Huge problem with plastic and paper trash. But there's some factors of it you may not be aware of. So next slide. So paper's 25% of landfills. And the good news is 60% of it's recycled. The bad news is when you get your takeaway food or you go to the restaurant and you get a straw or a coated cup or a coated paper plate, they're not recyclable. We heard about straws, and one of the side effects of people wanting to get away from straws is last year there was a bucatini shortage. Bucatini is the pasta with a hole in the middle, which is being sold for straws. So who knew you could cause a pasta shortage through making a better design choice? With plastics, less than 10% recycled. Really, if you look on the bottom of a jug, you'll see a number in a triangle, and you'll see a number between 1 to 7. Only 1 and 2 are recycled. So it's basically milk jugs and Pepsi bottles are the only ones that are economic to recycle because the oil price is too low. Another unexpected consequence. So McDonald's used to sell all their burgers in styrofoam containers. And if you go to get a takeout, you'll probably still get styrofoam containers. Well, there was huge pressure on McDonald's to switch to plastic in 1990. And they did. And because of that, there were 4 polystyrene recycling plants in the United States. And they all had to shut down because without the volume from McDonald's, they couldn't stay afloat. And the ironic thing is the paper containers that you get your burger in, they're not recyclable because they're coated with polythene. So you removed a recyclable product and replaced it with an unrecyclable product. Next slide. So we're all using the internet, and it uses a lot of hardware and a lot of energy. 140 billion kilowatt hours or 51 coal-fired power plants to drive the internet. And that's only the data center. That doesn't include Verizon. It doesn't include Spectrum. And by the way, 15% of the web traffic is Netflix. So that's still a huge amount. But there are 6 million tons of servers now that are being recycled. They die about once every 5 years. So 2 million tons of computer servers from data centers need to be recycled every year. That's a huge amount. So what can you recycle from them? Next slide. Next slide. So the hard drives in there. So those of you that know your electronics may think that hard drives have gone away, old style hard drives. They're still what's used in data centers. But the problem with recovering the rare earths from them is, remember I talked about commodities and prices? The prices have varied tremendously. Some prices fell to 5% of the 2012 values. And we calculated that it would take 13 seconds. If it took more than 13 seconds to dismantle a hard drive, you got a problem. So what's the best way to think of recycling or reuse? Well, reuse. Next slide. So if you've ever had your cell phone screen cracked like we had recently, it's not a new cell phone. And surprisingly, we had the insurance on it. And we got a new replacement cell phone, which was an obsolete cell phone, but one that had had a new screen put on it and a new battery. And that's a really ideal way of reusing our electronics. So make sure when you're trading up your cell phone that you trade it in, because somebody will be glad of that cell phone going down the road. Last slide coming up. So you may not have heard of the great horse manure crisis of 1894, but there was a huge issue. 100,000 horses in New York City, 2.5 million pounds of manure, and 25,000 gallons of urine in the streets of New York every day. Working horse lifespan was only 3 years, and corpses, they died in the street, and basically hundreds of dead horses in the street every day. And there was an issue saying that in the Times in 1894, they predicted that in 50 years, every street in London would be buried under 9 feet of manure. Now that didn't happen because we invented the automobile. And now we have problems with the automobile. So it's going to be interesting to see how we're going to get rid of this, but technology really has a great way of dealing with messy problems. Okay, and that's it.
Thank you so much, Alan. So the judges are done deliberating. I would like to take a few moments to thank our sponsors, and I want you all to know that we are closing the polls for a Viewer's Choice Award. So if any friends or family want to vote, they have the duration of my thank you slide to do so. So thank you to our sponsors: Sealing Devices Incorporated, Alfred University, the Center for Advanced Ceramics Technology, Houghton College's Husselton's Chair, and then to our Startup Allegany committee members: Alfred University, Alfred State College, Houghton College, the Allegheny County IDA, the Western New York Incubator Network, Accord, and Incubator Works. I want to extend a deep thank you to our mentors for their guidance, mentorship, and dedication, as well as to the student teams for your vision and hard work. And lastly, to the Incubator Works team for their support. So now, Viewer's Choice Award for the Startup Allegany Collegiate Competition for $100 cash. You pitched, they watched, and they voted. The viewers have voted, and they choose, for a total of 118 votes, Think Orange Ag Tech. Do you have the other? Thank you. Thank you, Assistant. All right, I have the envelopes for our other winners. So, third prize winner for a total of $500 is Triboelectric Nano Generator Mask. Congratulations. Second prize winner for a total of $1,000 is Innovir. Congratulations. And grand prize winner of the Startup Allegany Collegiate Competition for a total of $5,000 is Think Orange Ag Tech. Congratulations, teams, and a job well done. Thank you, everyone, for enjoying today's competition. That adjourns the Startup Allegany Collegiate Competition.
Thank you.
Congratulations, everyone. Great job.
Thanks.
Yes,
Congrats,
and,
everybody.
stay
job.
tuned. We are going to have follow-up debriefings because there's a great learning opportunity for everyone. And thank you so much from all of us at Incubator Works and from the whole committee. We appreciate it.
Great, thank you.